The Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, a militant group in the South with support from other major civil rights organizations, is readying a massive program called the Mississippi Summer Project, a campaign that may have no parallel since the days of Reconstruction.
I'd heard about Mississippi all of my life growing up. But nonetheless, the fact that the people in Mississippi couldn't vote was just a shock, even to me there in Memphis. I thought that it was very important to go to Mississippi and make a statement about the horrors that confronted Black people there.
This Ivy League campus is one of the staging bases for an invasion of Mississippi by college students. The students are being recruited all over the United States, from Harvard to Hawaii. They will go to live in Mississippi this summer to fight for the Negroes' civil rights.
I first heard about Freedom Summer in the spring of 1964. I saw a brochure on the bulletin board at Drake University, where I was a student, which is in Iowa. And it just caught my eye immediately.
I had been making drawings for corporations and colleges, and my wife, June, felt very deeply about the injustice in the country, as did I. So we decided that I would take my skills as an illustrator and go to Mississippi. I was 20 years older than they were, but I was part of the group.
My job was recruiting. Students heard about the project, either through me or the campus newspaper. Then they contacted us for an interview and for an application.
I'm a junior at Queens College, majoring in anthropology. My schooling so far has been oriented toward history, and I have a good knowledge of current affairs. Finally, I have a good deal of experience with racial and religious prejudices in the North and South. Andrew Goodman.
I have just returned from a spring project on a voter registration drive in Raleigh, North Carolina, where I was filled with an overwhelming desire to clean the rot out of America. All I can say is that it's very important to me that I play my role in civil rights for the U.S., and most of all, for myself. Linda Wetmore.
We were looking for people who believed that this was important, who would be respectful to the Black community, who were not nutcases, who were not divas, and who were not people who were going down to show the world how great they were. This was a majority Black organization, with Black people telling white people what to do.
Now, Phil, let's say you're in Mississippi, and Bob Moses, who's the director of the project, comes over to you and says, Phil, will you spend the next 4 weeks typing index cards or some other task that you might not care for very much? What would you react? How would you react to that?
I would certainly say yes, but I do hope that I can participate more actively in the movement. If this is where he wants me to be, of course, that's what I'll do.
We turned down people. There were many more people who wanted to go. But from the point of view of safety for the whole project, we had to have people who were as together as you can be when you're 19 or 20.
When we were sure that Freedom Summer would actually happen, Jim Foreman, the executive director of SNCC, sent a number of people who would be paid field staff into Mississippi to help pave the way.
Part of the application process to be considered as part of the field staff was to write a letter of application. And this is part of the letter that I wrote. I wish to become an active participant rather than a passive onlooker. As my husband and I are in close agreement as to our philosophy and involvement in the civil rights struggle, I wish to work near him in whatever capacity I may be most useful. My hope is to someday pass on to the children we may have a world containing more respect for the dignity and worth of all men than that world which was willed to us.